Hi, welcome back to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Jay Handelman, the arts editor and theater critic of the Sarasota Herald-Tribune, here joined by our dance critic and arts writer, Carrie Seidman. We missed a week last week because I was sick and Dahlia was sick and you were trying to stay healthy.
I was on a bus.
You weren't on a bus yet.
I was close. I was getting ready to go on a 39-hour bus ride to and from Washington, D.C. to cover the Women's March. So if you want to read all about the Karma bus, that's coming in Sunday's paper. You don't want to miss that. Quite a story.
Judging from the stories you've shared so far to me, I can't wait to read that. But we're here to talk about the arts.
Yes.
And there may be arts involved in the bus, but the Sarasota Ballet is back on stage, so why don't you get us started and tell us what they're doing.
Back to the ballet beat. This weekend the ballet is doing a program called Ashton, Graziano, and Tuckett, after the three choreographers whose works they're doing. They are doing Frederick Ashton's Valse Noble and Sentimentale, which is a originally 1947 work based on Ravel's waltzes, which was revived in 1986 by the Royal Ballet and then brought here to Sarasota, I think 2 years ago. They'll also be doing Will Tuckett's Changing Light, which is a neoclassical work he created for the company itself in 2013. And also, there was to have been a new work by Riccardo Graziano, who's the dancer, who's also their resident choreographer. But he has been injured all fall, and so they are instead reprising one of his earlier works, which is called Before Night Falls, which they've only done once before, and I'm really anxious to see. It has some really magnificent partnering in it. So it's a great program. It's almost sold out. They added an extra program Monday matinee, so you can still get some tickets for that one, and there may be limited tickets for a couple of the other performances, but if you're interested, I would get on that right away.
That's up at the FSU Center
At the
this
FSU
weekend.
Center.
Hard to keep track sometimes where they're performing.
They jump around a lot,
right.
Yeah.
At Florida Studio Theater, which does not jump around, though they have so many shows I can't keep up with them, they're opening a new play called Brownsville Song B-Side for Trey. And it's by a playwright named Kimberly. I got to see this play a few years ago at the Humana Festival in Louisville. And it's a very touching, moving, and sort of inspiring story about a family in Brooklyn who are touched by tragedy, senseless gang violence. And it sort of takes what is too often statistics that you read about in the newspaper. Here's another family, 5 people, 1 kid, whatever, and gets you to know them. And the real impact of one bad moment or a period of time. And the focus is on a young man, high school student with a lot of promise, a boxer and doing well in school, and what happens when this tragedy strikes his family. So that's running through March 26th, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So hopefully, I'm sure their shows always do well at the box office, because they have these great subscription deals, but I think it's worth checking out. It's something different, and they're going to be having a lot of discussions surrounding this play, some post-show talkbacks on a few evenings, and so it's worth checking out.
And speaking of kind of turning tragic situations into art,
that's a good segue.
There is a violin maker by the name of Amnon Weinstein, who for the past 20 years has been trying to collect and restore violins that were played during the Holocaust. And he now has a collection of 16 that are being brought here by the Jewish Federation of Sarasota and Manatee and the Mazer Family Fund. And they're doing a series of events that run from next Wednesday, February 1st through the 16th, with musicians playing on these beautiful restored violins. So it's called Violins of Hope, and you can
say that again. Violins.
Violins.
Okay. It sounded a little bit like violence, so it depends how fast you say it.
No, not violence. Violins of Hope. And you can go to the Jewish Federation homepage and get tickets and see all the events that are that they'll be putting on. It sounds like a really inspiring series of
we've seen some
concerts.
photos of some of these violins, and they're kind of some
gorgeous.
of them look just like violins, and some of them have markings and insignias and handwritten messages on
When
them.
you make the historical connection, it's pretty powerful.
It makes a big difference. At Urbanite Theater in downtown Sarasota, one of our newest theaters, they are opening Aaron Loeb's play called Ideation. It's described as a comical thriller office drama. And
That about covers it.
covers about everything you can possibly have. 5 actors, including both of the artistic directors, Summer Dawn Wallace and Brendan Reagan, are in this show. And it's about sort of office politics and what happens when decisions have to be made and you have to navigate kind of tricky decisions and maybe questionable ethics and all sorts of things like that. I'm not really clear of all the details, but I'm looking forward to finding it out. Brendan Reagan said that this show is a little bit lighter than some of the ones that they've been doing, though they said that about one of the last shows too. But they have been doing outstanding work, and so that might be worth checking out. That's running through March 12th at their downtown theater.
And we'll hope that the Life at the Herald-Tribune is not the segue to that play.
I hope not.
The sequel, rather.
Yeah, well, we'll write our own play. We'll have a dance and drama version
not.
of it.
At the Alfstead and Contemporary Art Gallery, there is a show opening called Global Luminaries, and this is the glass sculpture work of a couple, Kathleen Mulcahy and Ron Desmet, who were together for 40 years creating work. And sadly, Ron passed away last December, just as they were finishing the work for this exhibition. So it's a kind of testament both to their creativity and beautiful art and their relationship. And that opens with a reception this Thursday night at Alfstead End, and it runs through, I think, the 24th of February.
Yes, that's what I wrote on the board.
I can't see that far, but
Yeah, it's okay. I can. Fortunately, one of us can. And I also want to tell you about the next production at Backstage at the Players, which is the Players Center, their little studio rehearsal room that they turn into a theater at night. It's called Next Fall by Jeffrey Knopfs, I think is how you say it. This show was done at Florida Studio Theater a few years ago, and it's about a gay couple with a twist. One of the men is very religious and kind of conservative, and his partner is an atheist. And tragedy strikes the couple and drives the atheist to his family, and what impact the religious background has on this guy who doesn't believe. And so there's some humor and touching stuff involved with that, and a little bit more daring, I think, for the players to be doing that backstage, which is what the whole program is for. So that's happening. It's opening next week and running through February 12th. It's opening on the 1st. So might be one more show for you to check out. There's so many of them.
And there are so many more. You know, we've gotten to the time of year where it's just not possible for us to do but kind of touch the tip of the iceberg of what's out there. So please go to heraldtribune.com/ticket or /arts to find out more and read the art section in Sunday's Herald Tribune. And we'll be back next week with another edition of Spotlight on the Arts.
Bye.